So I'm going to hook up to YouTube. Hello, Connie. Paula, how you doing? Betty. So we're about to start a Soul Speaks 5D with the incredible Maddy Schafer.
Yay!
And Facebook wouldn't let us go on, so we're going to go on YouTube. And it is now on YouTube. Okay, so let me turn the sound off.
Can you grab the link and put that in somewhere for me so I can post it in here?
I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to put the link to the YouTube show on my page. Well, I'll put it on all the pages. Hello, Judy. Thank you for your continued love and support. Day Woods, Anastasia Compost. Yeah, Terry Willette. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my page and I'm going to put the YouTube link. All right.
Yeah, right. There you are.
There's a YouTube link. If you want to watch it on YouTube, you can comment. Whereas in the Zoom room, you still can comment in the Zoom room, but not everybody can see the comments. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to just put live now. Live now.
I'm not finding the link, Todd. Where's the link?
It's on there right. Yeah, what's going on here?
Maybe put it as a comment under your live. Oh, there it is. Found it. Found it.
It just came.
Awesome.
So I'm going to share that link to the Soulogy group. Hey, Edith Ann. Hey, Lisa Webster. Kenneth Langford. Okay, so let me put this in the Soulogy group and on the SoulogyOneStudios page. And we also have the link on my page. And then we're about ready to go. Okay, so, all right, so we're good there.
Yeah, all right, and I'm just putting a post up here on my page.
Okay, so let me go back over here. All right, Bruce Fischetti. Wait, there's one of the people from Megan McMahon, Marilyn Biggers. Oh, she got banned on Facebook. So we're having a problem. We're having a problem as we've been having off and on with Facebook allowing us to do the show. So we're now on YouTube. You see here, everybody? We're on YouTube at SoulogyOneStudios channel. You can also find the link on my page, the SoulogyOneStudios Facebook page or the Soulogy group. You can find the link there. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. Hello, Kamara and Nori Love. And who else is that? I can't see, even with my glasses. 31 people on this live. We're about to shift over to YouTube. So if you want to watch the show with Maddy Schafer, just go to my page. The link is there. There's 12 people on YouTube now. And there is a few people in the Zoom room, 6 people in the Zoom room. So if you guys want to watch it one more time, you're not going to be allowed to go on Facebook. So we're going to go to YouTube. And I think somebody just put up the link right there. Yeah, Edith Ann.
Is there anything I need to do, Todd, to go to YouTube, or will I just get carried over? I've never done that before.
Well, you can pull up YouTube on your phone and look at the comments if you want. All right, I'm going to go.
Hang on.
I'm going to go to YouTube now.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, don't cut me off of Zoom yet because
no. Terry said that not able to comment on YouTube. You can if you look underneath the screen. Here, I'll show you on the actual screen. Okay, so if you look here, the comments are over here if you're on a laptop, and if you're on a phone, there'll be an icon right here that says live chat. Click that, and then the live chat will come up on your phone and you can comment. Okay? Hello, Simone, Lanier, Sherry Matson. All right, we're going to go to YouTube now. I'm signing off. I'll see you over at YouTube. Thank you.
Okay, so Todd, I've got the thing on the page. I'm looking at it, but I don't know what else to do.
Are you looking at the YouTube page on your computer?
I'm looking at the YouTube page on my laptop.
Well, okay, but you're on your laptop in the Zoom room, so I would just shut down the YouTube.
Oh, of course, because okay, all right. Yeah. So I'm still going to be talking to you in Zoom.
Yeah, we're in Zoom.
Oh, okay. Right. You see?
Yeah, but what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my phone on YouTube. See, and then I can see the comments.
Yeah, okay. I think I won't do that because it'll just distract me.
I know. You're an ET. You can't do that. That's too.
Yeah, you can tell me if there's anything I need to respond to, but I can see, I'm live on YouTube. Zoom goes to YouTube. Who knew? I didn't. So.
Yeah, Zoom goes to YouTube.
Okay.
So,
Groovy. Interconnectivity.
So we got 27 people in the house.
Hello.
If you're on a phone, can they see me? Yeah. So if you're on a phone,
It's getting warm here.
You can actually turn on the live chat. It's an icon right here on this row. It says live chat, and you just click that, and then the chat will pop up. I don't know if you can see that.
Groovy.
So there's the chat. Okay.
Yep.
So we got 32 people in the room in YouTube, 5 in Zoom, and we got. Oh, wait a minute. We got Marilyn Biggers, Bruce Fischetti. This is our show, Bruce. I know you usually, I've seen a lot of your comments, and thank you for all your comments, Bruce, on YouTube. But this is our show. We're just doing it live here instead of on Facebook. Megan McMahon's in the house. She's coming on. We had a little mix-up yesterday. Maria Iverson from Sweden. Amanda Henning. Tom Bear's on. He came home to listen. Thank you, Tom Bear. Thank you for everything you do. Jenny Hodges is in the house. All right. Starbuckle Sal. Hello. 37 people in the house. If these shows resonate, please share. We would appreciate it. So welcome everybody. I'm Todd Medina. This is SoulSpeaks 5D. This is the Soulogy.One network. And we're just improvising, utilizing what we're offered by the universe. We're not allowed to go on Facebook today, so we're going to go on YouTube. And we have the incredible Maddy Schafer back with us again from Australia. And she's going to tell
Kiwi. Little island off the edge of the little island. It's not off the coast of Australia. I am from down under. I'll give you that, honey.
Oh, you're not? Are you not in Australia?
No, I'm a New Zealander. I am in Wellington.
Oh, you're in New Zealand. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I love the Aussies. I have some beautiful friends who are Australians, but I'm a Kiwi born friend.
So you're New Zealand. It's the solar flares.
Yeah, they can have a real impact on the stuff. Yeah. Yes.
So what's going on in New Zealand, and what's going on in your little universe there, where you do your lives every day, keep everybody pumped up?
That's insane. It's only been a month. Does it seem like a month since we spoke, Todd? Really?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I have no recollection of anything.
I know. It's like time does this weird thing. It telescopes and collapses. It's like a month. What was that?
I know.
Yeah. And I feel like this is a great big catch up from you to me, because it's like we both traveled 1 million years in the last month.
Yeah.
In light years and universes, and it's like I'm an entirely different person. I'm sure you are too. And I've been thinking, what the hell are we going to talk about? It's like, oh, hi, Marita.
Hey, Marita.
Yeah, we do laugh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, what's been going on over there? What have you been experiencing?
Okay, so
have you been conversing with the elementals in your little universal garden over there? The fairies, the gnomes.
No, I think they're all blowing raspberries at me. In terms of the garden, it's quite a quiet time. Autumn, things sort of shut down. You get to clean up and prune, and I've been distracted by having windows that I've needed to manage until they can be properly repaired. So that's the whole thing. So in terms of outside, it's like there's sky out there. I want to see a bit more of it, and that's okay because I'm choosing my life.
That's right. That's right. That's what. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, and sometimes I just see the sun out there, and I think that's it. I'm going outside for 10 minutes. It may be only 10 minutes I have, and I'm going outside to see the sun and smell the air, and
Mm-hmm.
It's a very moment-to-moment flow. I think you will relate to this.
Yes.
That it's so fast. It is fast, but it's not fast in the frenetic way that I would have used to talk about. It's fast in the sense of I'm absolutely standing on the head of the pin that is this moment, and the next pin is and the next pin, and it's just this incredible thing. You got to flow with what you got, and that's it. And as long as I do that, and I don't always manage to, right? But as long as you and I do that, it's this amazing thing, which you don't really have words for.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you can't attach to anything either.
No.
Isn't that crazy?
And I've really experienced the dissolution of the matrix. I think, and I have difficulty really translating what I'm currently experiencing into words. But in the last week, something in me has really shifted. Maybe I'll manage to get it out into words today. Who knows? Maybe that's what this is all for.
That is it. That's exactly what you're going to do.
The matrix, okay, thank you for your faith. The matrix is kind of dissolving. And there are times when that process is like, but the more it kind of lets go, the easier it gets. Which, people say that, it's like, oh, really? But it is actually true. Standing here and giving hope to anybody who feels like they're knee-deep in shit and nothing's moved for 30 years. I relate, and yeah, you can change it. I know, because I have and I am.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question? Sort of, maybe.
Yes, it did. What about how about just the internal experience, the internal dialogue? Have you been triggered in the last? Has there been much triggering in the last 30 days, or you feel like you're clearing a lot? I mean, how would you?
Yeah, see, that's interesting because however long, I don't know, I was going to say years ago, I don't know, however long ago, I used to have a lot of emotional work to do. And that's valuable. You have to face your stuff. You have to deal with your stuff. It's there. And life does trigger me sometimes, but it's not the common thing anymore. And there's a number of reasons for that. Firstly, when stuff comes up now, I can deal with it very quickly. I have really effective tools and they work fast. And by fast, I mean, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If it's really big, I'll have it at least calm down so that I have clarity in 30 minutes to an hour. I can do that. Now, bear in mind, I have not experienced long-term trauma. I do not have a brain to rehabilitate. So there's a whole neurobiochemical process that happens, which makes it more challenging if you've had that experience. But I'm talking for somebody with a relatively normal but incoherent brain like I used to have. I've found ways to sort things quickly, and I seem to have the ability, which I've had for a long time, I guess I came in with it, to just see straight through the crack a lot of the time. Even with myself, it's like, oh, there's some stuff come up. What is this actually about? And usually if I just tune in, I know, and then I can deal with it. And by I know, I mean my little brain, my wonderful brain goes, oh, it's that. Oh, this is what's inside me. What's that actually about? Yeah, and I just have ways to get into it really fast. So I don't spend a lot of time in it. But also because I've been doing that sort of work more and more efficiently, because these tools weren't available when I started, when I was 21, really. It was when it began. I'm 50 something now. So it's a lot faster, but I've also worked through a lot of shit. So a whole lot of stuff just doesn't light up anymore. And if it does, it's kind of minor, not major. So there just isn't that much to kick up anymore. But also, my whole way of dealing with stuff now has really, really changed. And I raved about this a month ago. Well, I'm still raving. This work that I'm doing, which has been sort of made more available for people to understand and access by Dr. Joe Dispenza, has still in the last month, like it had the 2 weeks before I spoke to you, completely changed my life. It's going quite fast. And I don't mean that my life has suddenly transformed on the outside, but inside, the shift has been enormous. And people who watch me every day, most of you can see that, actually.
Yeah.
And so more and more for me, what I understand is if something triggers me, something upsets me, some neural net and associated biochemistry, which is a memory, that's what memories are, is a set of neurons that fire together and wire together and produce a kind of neurochemistry. This is really, really basic. It produces a chemistry in our body. That's a memory. That's what happens. And that's why when we remember something, everything can come back in a rush. The more powerful it is, all of that stuff will replicate itself. So I understand that's what's going on. So all my tools are about busting those networks up and choosing something else. But I more and more understand that if I suddenly find myself off kilter, I've become incoherent. Literally, the brain stops firing in synchrony and playing a beautiful symphony together, and all different compartments go, you know, and then we can't think. There's no clarity, nothing works. So I've gotten really passionate about simple ways to at least encourage coherence in myself, and I teach those to people. And the whole thing of realizing that wherever I place my attention, there my energy is. Not that it goes, it's there. So my attention is my energy, and I'm firing and wiring and creating the physical three-dimensional reality and all of resonance and the quantum stuff that manifests my life. It's so powerful when you realize, despite the fact that you might feel you're sitting at the bottom of a mountain looking up, this is my brain, this is my body, this is my life. I created this. If I don't like it, I can uncreate it. I can create something else.
Yeah.
And so I've just been getting better and better and better, and I will get better still at holding the truth of the me that I'm creating in myself, and actually completely more and more independent of my external circumstances. And that's the dissolution of the matrix for me. When you think, you're right, when you really realize that I've got it in here, I know it, I feel it, it's mine, it's here, I've got it, I've done it already. And what's outside loses its meaning and loses it becomes this illusion, and you kind of feel that it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Even while you've still got to pay your bills and deal with your medical condition and your relationships and all that other stuff, and you may not know what your purpose is in life, all that crap. But it ceases to mean the same stuff as it used to. It's like, that's the matrix. This is the reality.
Can you give us a couple of examples of the tools that you use to?
Okay. My really basic, what is my basic go-to tool? But yeah, the really basic go-to tool that takes about 2 minutes to demonstrate, which is, it's not actually the basic go-to tool that I use, although I do use it, but it's the fastest one to explain, and it's very, very simple. And this is little bits that I ripped out of Body Talk and a fabulous thing called neuroemotional technique, which is kind of the extension on this. But the basic thing comes from Body Talk, which is an amazing modality if you want to go and find out about Body Talk. And the cool thing is that we've got two hemispheres of the brain, right? And when we get stressed, particularly when you have a shock or you get triggered or whatever, they stop talking to each other. They become discombobulated. You become incoherent one way or another. And when there is an emotion running in my body, something's in it's like or whatever, the most basic thing I can do is think, oh shit, I'm having an emotion. I am now quite incoherent. I can't think clearly. My body's in uproar. I'm feeling fear or whatever it is. It's very simple. I take my hand. Now, you've got this midline, right? Two hemispheres. Unless there's something really peculiar about you've had a serious brain injury, you've got two hemispheres. I don't think we can live without one. Don't know, maybe somebody does. But you want to have your hand, like, you know, the knuckles are on the midline because we want half on each side. And all I do is acknowledge the feeling, whatever it is. Oh God, I'm whatever. I'm so pissed off. I'm so angry. And I literally allow myself to speak the feeling. And I just tap. And sometimes I can be totally pissed, really angry, and I'm just, you know. And then there comes a point, I will breathe in and see, the talking keeps me breathing. And it also keeps me present with the feeling. Because of course, don't be sad, don't be angry, don't be this, don't feel your feelings, don't have your feelings, suppress them. No, we have the feelings, but we get coherent. We say, this half of the brain, talk to that half of the brain. Stop firing all in a kind of confused fashion and start getting your act together. As you breathe, as you talk, as you have the feeling, there comes a point, even if you just talk yourself out, and you have to take a breath in. You have to breathe in. And at that stage, I start tapping on the breastbone, whatever. Just tap here. This is like a save button. This is like saying, oh, I felt something change in my brain. I no longer feel like killing the world. I just feel like punching everybody.
Yeah.
You know, this is an improvement, okay? So let's hit the save button and tap here. And then, you know, and I will keep talking. I'm still really angry. I just don't want to blow the world up. I just want to punch everybody. And I still feel like punching everybody. And you go through the feelings and you keep tapping. This works really well when you're lying down, by the way. You don't have to stand up, although, you know, walking around is good if you're feeling pissed. If you're feeling frozen in fear, walking around is actually good. It gets you moving. It's all this kinetic body brain stuff. So you keep talking and you keep tapping here, and this is the body talk thing that they use for what they do, but I just ripped it out. And there comes a point, be it 2 minutes or 20 or 40, where you just have nothing left to say and the feeling is gone. And everybody who tries this, like anybody with a relatively normal brain, will find that it works 100% if you just stay present with the thing. If you have trauma, you have PTSD or severe anxiety or anything like that, it's probably going to give you some relief, but you might not find it or shut it all down because there's physiological stuff going on in your brain you need to address. That's a different situation. There's things you can do for that too, but they take time because it's a physical thing that needs to change. So that is my really, really simple tool. And people, I talk about this every now and then. It comes up, and I explain this on my lives, my daily live again. And somebody, without fail, almost, well, I shouldn't say that, but probably without fail, somebody will be sitting there and try it, and they'll put a little comment, say, oh my God, it works. And it does. And it's just a really simple thing based on body talk and staying present with your feeling. So that is your hot tip today. And I've had people use that. The other thing is that it doesn't get old. You know how you have a wonderful new affirmation or a meditation or a thing, and you do it and it's great, and then it's kind of like a week later, it doesn't seem to work as well.
Yeah.
This one people don't seem to wear out. And I think it's because it's a really physiological process. When you tap up here, you are disrupting the electromagnetic field that is produced by that particular neural net that's firing. It's that simple. And that's the body talk premise. If you go to the body talk site, you'll feel that. So if you're generating this feeling of whatever it is, and you're disrupting it, the very power of it is actually going to disrupt, it helps you break it up. And then this is the save button. And what you're doing also is synchronizing the brain. The brain has its field and its energy and what it generates. And the heart has a brain too. And so when you're tapping here and then you're tapping here and you keep doing this and you find the emotion comes down and it goes down and down, down to its neutral, then these two end up synchronized and you come back to neutral, which is a hell of a lot better than wanting to kill the world.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Things are ramping up the last few days.
Are you finding that? What are you noticing? I got to ask now because, like I say, I'm this kind of, la, 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 I'm not looking. What is ramping up out there?
I think it's, what some of these people have written about for a couple of years, this great divide. This it's not a right or wrong, but this soul responsibility, self-responsibility, self-reliance, ownership, sovereignty.
Yes.
A side that's no longer giving their power away, and a side that's continuing to be in the loops of giving their power away, codependency. Old patterns. Yeah. You call that the matrix. You're calling
at
that
the moment.
Yeah, but you know what? But you know what? But that's actually, if you had to really try to figure out, quantify it, what is it?
Yeah.
How many pieces of it is there? But it really is here, right?
It totally is. It really is. I'm reminded. You go.
No, go ahead. You're reminded of what?
I'm just reminded of something that Dr. Bruce Lipton says, and he's the father of epigenetics, another one of my superheroes. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And he says, where do you find the Matrix in the video store, right? Science fiction. No. The Matrix is a documentary because we've all been programmed, right? Yeah. And so, he tells this wonderful story about the red pill and the blue pill and what is the red pill. And basically says the red pill, everybody's taken the red pill at least once in their life. When you fall in love, doesn't matter how crummy your life is, suddenly everything's amazing. And it's, we let ourselves have this state of being where, oh my God, everything works and everybody's smiling at me and my life is good, Nothing's changed except the falling in love, the heart opens. So yeah, he's a very cool guy.
How does somebody find the conditioning, programming loops within themselves when they have no idea? How can you seek and find that stuff? Can you?
Well, here's the thing. This is a laugh. I don't think we need to do that anymore. That used to be the big thing, psychology was this massive discovery in the 60s and everybody went, oh my God, let me, go delving inside myself and find all the reasons why I am the way I am. But the more you understand why the way you are, the less you're actually creating what you want to be. And what I find is this: if I focus on trying to figure it out, I'm focusing on trying to figure it out. I'm putting more and more energy and attention into the problem. If, on the other hand, I start to put my attention on what I desire, and not really the things, but the kind of person I am and must have become to let in my desires. You know, to really think about that. Okay, I want to have this wonderful situation where I'm doing work that I adore, and you know, there's all of that stuff, or there's money, or I feel healthy, or whatever. And who the heck is that person? As sure as heck not the me I am now, right? So it's not the, you know, I've got the car and the money and the, you know, the girls or the boys, or it's not that external stuff. It's who am I? And even more than that, you know, say, oh, well, I'm a millionaire, I do this or what, or I'm married, or I have kids, or I'm healthy, or whatever. No, it's not even that. It's how does it feel to be that person? Talking about that just this morning, because we get so used to the familiar feeling of me. I know how I feel. But hang on a minute. If I want to be the person whose house is entirely renovated, which has been my dream for a very long time, because it will bring me joy, and who has this wonderful positive impact around the world, many, many people, most of whom can't pay a cent for it, and that's my dream.
Yeah.
And you know, and I might be 70, but I look like I'm 45, and I feel like I'm 30. Who is that person? What is it like to be living that life? Who am I? How wide open is my heart? How much energy do I have in all of my cells? You can see it coming up out of me, because I'm a lot closer to this self than I was. But I've been creating this very consciously, really consciously in Joe's work for about 6 weeks now, but much longer before then, just with less clarity about what I was doing. This is the wonder of what Joe Dispenza does. It's a formula. He's done the science. He takes measurements. If you do what he teaches, it works. You just have to do the work.
Do you know him? We should get him on the show. We should get him on the show.
He's a rock star.
I know.
Just go and look him up on YouTube.
No, I know who he is. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way we could get in.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Marita. I love you too.
I was going to say the same thing.
Just you never know, Todd, because you never know. And I mean, the work that he does, I feel like, you know, if this was something that we all designed before we came in. No, I don't know him, but I feel this immense love and respect for what he's made available to me.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, kind of like where I fit, is making it even more available and even more relatable to maybe the people who can't even afford to buy one of his $12 to $13 meditations yet. You know, it's like that's where I fit.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. It's a feeling that, you know, more and more I sort of understand my purpose in life. But really, my purpose in life is to be the most massively wonderful expression of me.
Yeah.
And it's all those things. Yeah. So
Michael Van Patten said on your comments, it's the way of the monkey or the way of the cat. No need to chase after it. I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it, or when I just shut up and get centered.
And thank you, Michael, because that's the bit I missed. I got so excited what I was talking about. So when we start to play with who is this self, you know, who do I want to be? Where's this, you know, what does it feel like to have every cell buzzing with infinite energy and all this resource and tra la 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 la? What happens is, here's the familiar feeling of you that you are used to feeling. It's this shape and it feels like that. When you start to imagine something outside of that, you are going to bump those walls. You're going to end up like with your nose against the brick, right? Because you are then, as you imagine something outside that box that you're used to comfortably, uncomfortably being inside, your comfort zone, when you start to imagine, dream, play, explore, put on a new self, you're too big for that box. It's like you're a Russian doll and you no longer fit inside the one in the middle. You've got bigger, right? Yeah. So our resistances, the challenges, the stuff that you're talking about looking for, it comes to us. And it doesn't come to us to say, no, you can't, I'm a barrier, piss off, you just have to be small, you can't have it. It comes to us because we're ready to move through it. It's actually there, and sometimes really loud and really scary and really large, because you moved up to it and you're moving through it by the very fact that it's there. So realizing that when all this scary shit comes, it's part of the expansive process. And you get to choose, well, hang on, who am I? Am I the one who would just back down and, oh, well, you know, I must be failing? Or actually, is this happening because I'm succeeding? And that's the truth.
You got to pass through hell to get to heaven.
Well, I don't want to call it hell, because we do have hell, and I know what you're saying. We do have our own hells inside ourselves.
Yeah, true.
Very true. And when we choose to go to a different frequency, let's get a bit quantum physics here. When we choose to go to a different frequency and say, I'm choosing to be happier, everything that isn't in that happier frequency is going to start to not harmonize with who you are anymore. You know, talk about the harmonic series. You've got a fundamental note, and then it makes harmonics. And if you have, like, you have two notes that go together and they're singing in harmony, they sound pretty. But if one of those notes then changes, there's going to be dissonance while it's shifting. You know. And the dissonance at quantum level, at vibrational level, you've changed your fundamental pitch. So everything that remains in your body and your life and everything that is with the old pitch is going to be in dissonance for a while. And then you get to decide, am I going to resonate with this or am I going to resonate with that? That's just quantum physics. But we get scared and put off and think, oh, well, I must be failing because all this crap's come up. But that's what's going on. We get to choose. It's the shedding process, you know.
So when the crap comes up, do we got to figure out why it's coming up, or do we just choose that we don't want to go down?
By and large, again, if I like what Michael said, if I really need to know why, it's going to come to me. Like, you know, when I get triggered, when something comes up, I don't really care what lifetime it was, whether I was 5, whether it was in another universe or another star. So I don't give a toss. I was going to use another word, but I won't. I don't care. All I care about is getting close enough to that frequency that I can feel it and shift it. Now, if getting close to that frequency means that I find out some details about, oh, well, you know, it was in another lifetime and the person who was in my family now was, you know, and it was actually, if I actually need that much information about what happened, then that will come to me. 99.9 times out of 100, I don't need to know. It's just, here's the vibration. I've got a bead that it was, you know, bead on it in time, you know, this year in my life or another lifetime, really, who cares where, because all of time is one thing anyway. Time's an illusion. It really, you know, it's still now. And let me just deal with this vibration and change it so that I can more easily be the vibration I want to be.
So how do you get close to that frequency so you can transform?
Okay, great question. All right, so this is where I have to try and explain something that I normally would take a good half hour or an hour to teach. But let's see.
Well, you can take as long as you want.
It's something that it's something that I would normally do in a workshop, like in the heart field, for abundant manifestation, which is my private group, or I do it one-on-one with somebody. So what I use is a very simple system of it's not, I don't even want to call it kinesiology because it's not like I've trained, but I use very basic kinesiology. So what I do, and you'll have to look this up, folks, because I can't teach you on the spot. But the first thing I do is I check if I'm switched. See, I'm not switched now. If I'm switched, when I do this, my little finger will stick out. I won't be able to push this in. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I could not explain to you. So it's this spot right here on the bridge of your nose, right? And there's something about, so I don't even know what meridian this is on or anything, but you hold your hand like this. And I mean, my doctor, who I learned this from, she does it this way. She puts your finger on here and then pushes. And if her hand goes stiff, then you're switched. And if you're not, you're switched. So what that means is there's a polarity in your energy field.
So if it goes tight, you've transformed.
Yeah, and then you're switched. And Yeah, let me yeah, I'll start from the beginning. So there's a polarity in your energy field, and if you have a shock or trauma, you can switch. Or at that moment when you fly off the handle and you lose your temper, it's like, you switched. That instant where you went from being, I'm okay, this is getting to me, and you lose your rag. At the moment when you lose your rag, you switch. Your polarity changes. And sometimes it happens occasionally that I wake up and I'm just grumpy and out of sorts. I think, hang on a minute, this is not me. And I check it like this. Oh, I'm switched. So the first thing I do is check if I'm switched. I'm not. But if I was, and you can look this up on the internet, there's lots of ways to unswitch yourself. So it's kinesiology, unswitch. You can look that up and find out how. So the first thing because if you're switched and you do kinesiology, you get bullshit answers. So you have to make sure that your system is coherent enough to even tell you something useful. Otherwise, you just get rubbish.
So before you start anything, you've got to make sure if you've been switched to get balanced, and then you can ask the question.
Yes. And also, sometimes, because I've seen this happen for me, right? When you deal with something that's really powerful, you may find you resolve the thing, you come down in neutral, but then you check your switching and it's locked up because it was so strong that it actually made you a bit incoherent, even as you resolved it. So sometimes you think afterwards, well, I check, well, am I unswitched? Okay, that's fine. So I check switching. I fix it if I need to. And then I do this really simple thing. So there's a bump on your arm, like there's your elbow, right? And then there's this bump. So I push here just with 2 fingers, and it's a light push. And you can try this. I mean, just this sort of calibrating a circuit here. God help me, if anybody who actually knows applied kinesiology sees me doing this, I'll think, who the hell are you? You haven't trained. But this is just what I've worked out for myself.
So what do you do? Just press lightly?
So they say 2 pounds for 2 seconds, but all I'm doing is actually feeling the resistance in my arm, right? Now, and you can all try this at home. So when everything's working, this holds up nice and strong. If you think of something really unpleasant, chances are your arm will drop. You will not be able to hold it up. If you think of something really unpleasant, your arm's going to go weak. The circuit changes, you change the polarity. Now, it's not actually a tap. You put your fingers on and you push, and it either holds up or it doesn't. So if you think of something really traumatic and unpleasant, or even just something bad that's happening in the world, the circuit will tend to go weak. And if you think of something good and happy and positive, it will stay up strong.
I just tried it. It worked.
It does, because it's straight into the field. This goes straight into innate, right? And innate is this sort of self-organizing consciousness that our bodies operate on, which is directly connected to source, and the holographic aspects of our DNA, which are multidimensional. It's all very quantum and very spiritual, because it's all the same thing, spirituality and science. So that is my thing. And then I start asking questions. The first question I ask is, I'm okay. And if I'm not okay, my arm will collapse in a limp, soddy heap. I will not be able to hold my arm up if I'm not okay.
Then what do you do if it falls in a heap? What do you do?
Well, whether I'm okay or not doesn't actually matter. I just like to know. Because if I'm not okay, then it's important to be okay before I go anywhere else. And then I will do really basic things. And this is a bit that I ripped out of the Chinese 5 elements. And basically they categorize emotions into 5 categories. So I just go, is it anger, fear, worry, guilt, or sorrow? Okay. And again, you have to catch the replay and write that down if you want it. And it is anger, guilt, worry, sorrow, fear. And whichever one it collapses on, that's the feeling. Now, I usually don't want any more information. It's just the basic category. It's a way to get into, like aiming up a target on something. And then usually, always, which one of those 5 is it? And then I'll ask, now, this is from before I was conceived. Okay, if my arm is strong, was it from, and then I'll count up in years, 0 to 5, 5 to 10. So I'll identify a year. Or if it's a past life, it's a past life. And sometimes it's actually in the preconception space or in utero. So, you just play and you just ask questions and it goes weak on the time when it matters. And sometimes that's all I need. Sometimes I'll say, oh, well, I was afraid, because I often ask, Was I afraid of something that was going to happen to me, or something that was going to happen to someone else, or just, so I just ask questions until I have a feeling, no, all right. And then I will apply my tool. And when I'm finished applying my tool, I will then check I'm okay not feeling angry because in a past life somebody betrayed me and my arm will stay up, or it'll collapse. And if it collapses, then I haven't finished it.
Is it ever not yours and somebody else's? It's not yours?
Yeah. Particularly, but certainly not only, particularly the commonest one is when you're in utero and somebody in your family, and your mother or someone in the or the environment itself, like maybe there was a major disaster or whatever, there's something going on around you. And of course, when you're in utero, you're psychic unity with all of that stuff. So you can take it on and, oh, well, this is a problem. Gee, I need to fix it. You're a little child in utero, but you're also a massive consciousness with all of the memories and everything that you have from all these other lifetimes, past, present, future. So we take on all kinds of responsibilities, do things in utero because, just I'm a unity with my environment, really. So you take on parents' things, and children often take on parents' things or siblings' things, or something awful happened and it must be my fault, or, I want to fix this. Yeah, so it can be, so it's always worth asking. That's a good question. Is this my anger? Someone else's anger? Oh, okay. Was that someone else angry at me? Or were they angry at someone I cared about? Or were they angry at something, So you can go into detail if you want to, but a lot of the time you don't need it. Because then what happens is, I go to this tapping tool and I speak the emotion, and you get the details as you say what you're actually feeling, which is like really surprising. It's like, oh my God, I had no idea this was going to come out of my mouth. I remember the last one I did. It was really, I hate you. So I hate you. You betrayed me. You, it was amazing. It was pure hatred.
Wow.
So angry. This particular thing that came up. And it was a past life. It had nothing to do with anything. It was really, really powerful. It was a thing that was, it's right. I'll tell you the story, okay? This is the story that came out as I spoke my feelings. This is great, immense rage. Very smart person in some other world, some other, because this is my first lifetime here on Earth. I'm not normally human, right? I've said it.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, well, so I was very, very smart, very intelligent. Now, somebody who had been put in a position of leadership by his mother and who did not have the skills and was really quite, almost a simpleton, spotted me and said, I need you to be my advisor. Without thinking, no cognizance of anything, took me from my family and said, you're here at the palace, you're serving me. I was immensely resentful, very, very angry. You took me away from my thing. I hate you. That was really the, And for an entire lifetime, I refused to help this person. I refused to do anything. In fact, I took great delight in, there was no delight. I was just, my mission in life was to block, not help, not support this person who was in a really difficult situation, knew he wasn't up to it, and really needed me to help him. But was such a numpty, they didn't realize the right way to go about it, couldn't talk to me and say, hey, I'm really sorry I screwed your life over. Can you help me, please? So I spent an entire lifetime in immense resentment, saying, no, I'm your financial advisor. I'm not going to help you have money. Oh, gee, is that a way to stay poor in this lifetime? I can't possibly let any abundance in. You asshole, you hurt me. No, you're never going to succeed. And what if you do to someone else, you do to yourself? So that was, that was really powerful. It was just, I think it was a week or two back. The hatred was immense. Okay.
That's a great story. That's a great story.
Very cool. I didn't, the details come out if we need them.
So, how do you connect with the universe? I'm just curious, you personally, how do you do that?
Now that's really interesting because, I used to sit down and do these guided meditations, or it would come to me. And by guided meditations, I mean, I used to run them for people in a group that I ran years and years ago here with my husband. And I used to sort of do visualizations and things. But now, I don't, I'm going to sound terribly egotistical. I don't need to connect, just like I'm always connected. I just go in, it's there.
Yeah.
download is there, and really the coherence, the clarity, the instantness, the fast, the I know now is so much more in the last short time because of this work I've been doing. It really, that my brain is very happy with me because of the work I'm doing, but it's my whole field. And you see, when you get coherent and when your field gets smoothed out and you clear more of your stuff and you expand through your crap, you become more source, you become more conscious, you become more of that stuff that isn't the matrix. And so the connection is just really instant. And it's so unusual and frankly shocking for me now to feel out of alignment, that it's like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? Let me sort this, because it's utterly unacceptable for me to be incoherent now.
Yeah.
It's just so painful. Yeah. Never mind the fact that if I'm everywhere and affecting everything all the time, apparently everybody notices on one level or another. Like, oh shit, that's a responsibility. But we all have that, So anyway, yeah. It's like, I don't need to.
Maria says it's easier and faster now. What do you think that's going to do to the external shared experience that we're all having now that things are moving faster and people are confident in what they're feeling, in terms of their divinity and everything that goes with it?
Yeah. So what is that going to do? I think it. Well, I mean, we're seeing there's so much flooding in it. Slow it down. We are seeing the shift in consciousness. That's the first thing. We're seeing people no longer tolerate things that used to be taken for granted.
Yeah.
We're seeing the technological upgrades, which, by the way, only get given to humanity when humanity is capable of handling them and not destroying itself. So, we won't get stuff until, as a race, as a consciousness, we are ready for it.
Right.
And the fact that all of the stuff is coming in means that we are increasingly ready for it. Now, part of that also means the more light there is, the more the darkness becomes visible. At a consciousness level, the same shit's happening. If you like, the consciousness of humanity is doing a Russian doll thing and banging up against some really ugly dark shells. So it's very tempting to look at all the crap that's going on and think, oh my God, we're all going to hell in a handbasket. But actually, that's just what happens when you shine a torch into a dark cupboard. So, it's all good. Maybe scary as hell, but it's absolutely benign. It's benevolent.
A lot of people are saying the last part of this month is going to be huge in terms of like something magnificent happening, something very noticeable happening. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm just sitting here watching the whole thing.
Now you've made me curious. Time. I don't do this often. I don't usually need to. Time. What do I feel? Well, you see, now you said that, so you've coloured my perception, which is lovely. But with my coloured perception, there is a sense of something coming. Now, is that what's coming for me? Because I know that stuff is coming for me.
You know something's coming for you.
I feel it. It's here.
I do too. And a lot of other people do too. So if we're all feeling it,
then it's here.
Yeah.
Then it's here. And we get to choose to step into it and hold it real and embody it and live it before we can see it. That's how you live outside the matrix.
Repeat that again.
Yeah. This is the download, right?
That was good.
It, right? We feel this. It's here. It's coming. No, it is never ever coming. Nothing coming. Because if I say it's coming, it's out there. There is no out there. There's just me. So if I feel this thing, then I get to choose. Am I the bigger Russian doll? How do I live like that? How do I breathe like that? How do I move like that person? How do I become that person right now, in the middle of everything? with my windows that need replacing and the roof that needs doing, which is getting some work done, but and the shower mixer that I can't afford to replace because the roof work is more than it was, so I've got to put that off. And do I choose to buy into that word? Do I choose to align myself and embody the Maddy goes, oh, there's not enough money, and where's it coming from? Which is the old familiar self, no longer so familiar. Or do I embody the me, which is like, yes, it's here. It's here. I feel it. I know it. It's true. It's all taken care of. It doesn't matter what I can see. Because what I can see isn't real. The reality is here. And I feel it.
Yeah.
And that's the choice we're making every moment. And it's really a massive challenge to start embodying that. That level of conviction that I now feel. It's not something that happens overnight. That happens day by day by day.
Yeah.
And Joe Dispenza is certainly helping me to make it happen a hell of a lot faster.
Well, there's a lot of people who've been doing it for a long time, and I know over the last week the impression that people are giving on the shows. I'm not talking about just the guests, but the people in the audience. Is like everybody's saying, "Hey, it's here."
Yeah.
There's a lot of joy. There's a lot of bliss. They're still saying they're moving through stuff, but it is moving faster. It feels like something is just right there in front of us. Like maybe it's going to come in with this full moon.
Critical mass is I think maybe what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And for me, and this is me, my critical mass, yes, consciousness contributes. It's a co-creation. But I find it most empowering to say, it's mine. I create it, independent of everything. And then I'm not giving my power away to any external influence, no matter how, no matter what's wrapped around it, because this is how I code my matrix or not. If I say it's got to happen because a certain thing is there or not there, then I'm subject to that. And it's a deep dive, and
it is.
it's really
there's something to be said for these second nature actions that we take if we take them without conscious introspection. Because now we look at it and say, why do I do that? Why do I do that?
Yeah.
It's like you ask yourself that, and then you find out I'm doing that because I was told to do that, or whatever. And then you start to find out that that's not even you. Or if you had a choice, would you do that?
Yeah. So. And maybe the energy's changed, and and I remember this. It's a long story, short snippet. Somebody I knew who was still defining himself by something he was told by a teacher 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, it took months to dawn on me. Why are you saying that's still relevant just because it's about your star sign and where the planets were when you were born? I mean, really? Astrology is a real science. It really is. It's true.
Yeah.
But there's so much, dare I say it, rubbish that's wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And I can't do it because this thing's here or that. No, that's not what it's for. It's a real thing, but it's not a reason not to do something. Or I can't do it because of, no, that's just giving your power away. So, I think you're so right. We make these unconscious ideas about, oh, I've always done it this way, or I was told to, or really?
Did you? I think I got knocked off for a second.
Yeah, stop.
Either that, or we just flipped timelines. I don't know.
We did. We had a candle visitation.
Yeah, another one. So, is there anything that you want to do? Channeling, blessing, story, song, further commentary.
Further commentary.
To close it.
Yeah.
anything, meditation, anything. Is there anything that resonates with you in this moment?
Yeah, I'm just tuning in. It's so much fun, and I had no idea what we talk about today. That's hilarious. Don't need to know. No, it's not a channeling today. What is it today? No, it's not.
I think it's a song and dance.
Well, I used to. I was a musician once upon a time, in another lifetime, it seems. What it feels like is really to say, you know, this glimmer of possibility, for want of a better word, that really I'm that much of a creator, that really if I'm just willing to face myself and keep choosing the kind of person I want to be, and most of all, the feelings I want to feel, and to create feelings, even though it feels completely manufactured, even if I can only do it for a little bit of time, to commit myself to generating more of the felt experience of who I desire to be. You're saying that will change my life? What I'm saying is, that's how I'm changing mine. Visibly, tangibly, truly. Because when I'm doing this, right, and what I find is that this new self in me is directing me to do different things, and to be differently and respond differently. And that is what creates the change in the outer world.
Yeah.
And then plus there's just the quantum manifestation magic of shit that falls out of nowhere, and you think,
Yeah.
you know, okay,
That's
you know.
that is the that was the perfect
That's the thing.
that was it. That was the thing. That was the perfect way to conclude.
Yeah, that's what we are, and that's what today is about. It's just one more reminder. This is who you are, this is what you can do, and nobody else can do it for you.
That's right. Neil Devaney says, sovereign co-creation, no delay, show is on now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like, oh shit, really? This is my show? So,
Right.
you know,
This is it. This is our play.
that little part that you decide to change, that little new experience that you create inside yourself, that you think, oh God, but it's, you know, I've taken a postage stamp of something I want and pasted it on the whole wall of my life, which is covered in crap. No, that's not the truth. That little thing that you think is a postage stamp represents a massive choice in you to temporarily experience something new.
Yeah.
So realize that changes your whole field, and realize you can practice it and do it more.
Yeah, I like that. What you talked about at the top of the show. I like that. How the field is running a certain way, the current turning a certain way, and then something happens and it doesn't. And using those kinesiology techniques.
Yeah, it's really simple stuff.
My friend TL in Sedona says it feels confidence is rising as the acceleration of consciousness occurs and vice versa.
Yeah, we're all in this together. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Feels super big. Catch the wave for me. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I look forward to collaborating with you again.
Yes.
In the future, and keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for what you're doing. Your broadcasts every day. I really appreciate it on a personal level. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back in an hour with somebody. I can't remember who. Michael Garber. Michael Garber. That's who it is. Really cool guy. All right. See you, Maddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.